2020. Are you ready?
Well, after 5 exciting rounds of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship, we move to the finale here at Teeside. Join me, Chris Sora, for all of the afternoon's action, where we have already had some champions crowned, of course, at Wilton Mill. But here at Teeside, there are some very close championship races. Some of them could even go down to the very last lap of the race. Plenty of action in store here at Teeside. Join us here at Alpha Life for all of the action. 160. So Pitbike spares stock 160. Don't forget, of course, we normally have Group B and Group A, but these riders at this final round racing together, so quite a big group of riders. Let's have a look at how they line up. Jim Lovell first with a 122.473 from James Mosticker in second. Rhys Stevenson third from Chris Grieve. Fifth for Chase Collymore from Aaron Sandler. Seventh is Jake Whittaker. Dougie Craven, 8th position. Ryan Tyers and Phil Dickens round out the top 10. Daniel Pearson, 11th. Owen Meller in 12th position. 13th for John Buckle. 14th is Ben Ray. 15th, Charlie Hopkins from Andrew Jones. Ben Nixon in 17th position. Scott McGiven lines up in 19th from Nathan Smith. Jake Marsh, 21st. Joe Woodward. Dervin Elaine, 23rd from Sebastian Barron. 25th for Steve Merron. Ben Johnson, 26th. Taylor Garner-Cook, 27th. Tom White, 28th. Ian Walker and Kieran Colley rounding out the top 30. 31st for Kira Williamson, Ben Pearson, Julian Gromit, Ian Roderson, Mark Jarrett, Brett Neesham, all with no time. Dan Merron, Billy Pearson, Joe Mills, Mick Ferret-Lord and Alan Armstrong rounding out the field. So a big group of riders here in the Pitbike Stock 160 race number 1. These riders, of course, racing A and B together. And this looks set to be a very close race indeed. Looking in terms of the championship, this race looking incredibly close. Both these races will be vitally important as the riders warming up in the waiting zone now. They'll be out on track in just a few moments. Here they come into the formation lap. We'll have a look at the championship positions in just a few moments in the 160s. Not very much, as you see the track still starting to dry out ever so slowly. Very low forecast of rain in this one throughout the day, so let's hope that it stays that way. Just to recap how things stood after the previous round at Wilton Mill, Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyers were tied on points going into this one. Jake Whittaker third on 321 points, but Lovell and Tyers both on 440 points, I should say. Jim Lovell coming back very strongly at the previous round at Wilton Mill. Ryan Tyers, if I remember rightly, of course, he had some issues, dropped the bike and lost some positions, which really has put Lovell back into championship contention. And Jim Lovell, if we cast our mind back a little bit further to that round in September at Three Sisters, was the winner of a dramatic Pitbike Stairs Stock 160 race where we had 5 riders covered by less than 0.2 of a second. There is the number 55 of Ryan Tyers, joint leader of the championship. Jake Whittaker third in the series, Chase Collymore fourth, and Phil Dickens in 5th position. Realistically, though, it's looking at a duel between Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyers for the championship. And throw in, of course, this rather treacherous track, you would say. It is drying out all the time, but certainly that hairpin at the end of the long straight there, that caught out a few riders earlier on. So the leaders will be certainly looking to keep themselves out of trouble. And with lots of riders, it's a big track, of course, here at Teeside, but still a lot of riders in this race with Groups B and A racing together. Potentially, traffic could play a part in this race a bit later on, so we'll keep an eye out for Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyers in this one. As here we see, look how many riders there are in this big race. They line themselves up. The first half lap of this race will be very important indeed. As they get into position, there's the 27 of James Mosticker as well, currently 6th in the championship. And our two main protagonists there, we see number 97, Jim Lovell, just to the left. A little bit further back is the 55 of Ryan Tyers. We'll see how they get on as the race develops. Looks like everyone is pretty much in position. So here we go. First race of the day for Pitbike Spares. Stock 160. Riders are pretty much ready. We wait for the start. The green flag goes up. Here we go. At the start of what will be a very important race in terms of the championship. They get underway. Jim Lovell leads them through. Mostica second. Chase Collymore, good start for him in third place. Chris Grieve, Aaron Sandler a little bit further back as they make their way up towards the top of the track for the first time. And everyone seems to stay out of trouble. There's Collymore, Chris Grieve, Aaron Sandler all very close behind him. The riders battling for position on this first lap. Down the back straight they go up to there's the leader 97. Mostica looking strong in second down the back straight for the first time. And there they go through that chicane. You can see these larger machines really do fly down that back straight. 74 Dougie Craven a little bit wide on the hairpin there, but doesn't lose too much ground. They make their way back towards us. Certainly is starting to develop into a battle here between Jim Lovell and James Mostica. And here they come for the first time through the chicane to complete this first lap. Lovell and Mostica very close, certainly for Jim Lovell. This is exactly where he needs to be in terms of the championship. Out in the front. Oh, trouble at the top of the circuit. Rider down. I can't tell you who it is, but that's on the exit of the track. And another rider in trouble is just by the finish line, the 51. Also in trouble now. Let's hope that fallen rider is okay as the race goes on. Mostica leads from Lovell, Collymore third, Sadler, Whittaker all well placed. Dougie Craven, Chris Grieve, Ryan Tyers, 18 on your timing charts there, currently in 8th place, so he really does need to get past some of these front runners as Mostica then into the lead. So up to the top of the circuit they go, all very close at the front of this Pitbike Stock 160 race number 1. Heading towards the back straight, the rest of the pack make their way through. And the red flag is out, unfortunately, so we had that incident at the back of the circuit. Race has been stopped. Let's hope the rider's okay. Certainly a very low chance of rain today. We certainly hope that's the case. It may possibly rain a bit later on this afternoon, but from what we've been told, it looks like it's going to be a dry day. And the track drying out all the time. That could play a part as the flag drops, and we are back underway with Pitbike Stock 160. Brought to you in association with Pitbike Spares, and immediately Jim Lovell gets a good jump from the field. James Mostica tagging onto the back there as they make their way up to the top of the circuit for the first time. And just look at that big group of riders. Spectacular start here. Everyone seems to get away well. So Mostica second, that may well be Chris Grieve in third, Chase Collymore well placed, Aaron Sadler, Jake Whittaker all in there, Ryan Tyers 8th position. Really does need to get back amongst that leading group as the rest of the field make their way through. Very tight at the back there as Dervin Lane, Dan Merrin, Taylor Garner Cook all battling away further down the field. Then goes the 77 down the back straight, Daniel Pearson in 9th place. And here they come as the track dries out. You really get an idea of how quickly they go down that back straight. Really good start. There's the 22 of Ben Johnson towards the back of the field, battling away as they go through that sweeping chicane for the first time. All the riders pretty much straight lining it through their racing line as Chase Collymore fending off the 74 of Dougie Craven, trying to go around the outside on that sweeping right-hand bowl corner back towards the finish line. Collymore really one of the young stars of British mini bikes. And here they come back towards us. Of course, he was racing in the youth categories not too long ago, and out there with some of the big names in the championship, some established names in British mini bike racing as they cross the line for the first time. Let's have a look at how they go through. So James Mostica now through into the lead from Jim Lovell. So Lovell losing the lead in terms of the championship. That's not the end of the world for him. He's in second place. His main rival down in 9th. So at the moment, you would say Jim Lovell might not be too worried about this. They watch him now as he's got the 65 of Chris Grieve behind him. And Jim Lovell certainly not fighting back too much here as Mostica has a glance over the shoulder. 2-3 just checking over the shoulder. Let's see rest of the pack. There's the 55 of Ryan Tyers just going through the chicane now. Down in 9th position. He desperately needs to get back towards the front and get ahead of Jim Lovell. Second place will be perfectly fine for Jim Lovell as things go at the moment. They make their way back towards us. The 1-2-1 of Jake Whittaker guards the inside line. Aaron Sadler just behind him. Daniel Pearson there is the green and black leathers there of 55 as one rider hits trouble. We're just trying to see who that is now. Can't quite get the number of that bike. I think it may have been possibly Taylor Garner-Cook. We'll find out, or we'll see when they come through on the finish line. But the rider's certainly okay. Just seems to be some sort of mechanical issue possibly. May just drop the front end on the hairpin. Mostica leads, but Jim Lovell still hanging on in there. 0.3 of a second down. Chris Grieve in third, Dougie Craven fourth, Chase Collymore, Jake Whittaker, Aaron Sadler, Ryan Tyers, Daniel Pearson, and Owen Mellor rounding out the top 10. I think that was Taylor Garner-Cook that dropped down to contention on the previous lap. There we see the 1-2-1 of Jake Whittaker. Aaron Sadler all over the back wheel now. It looks like Jim Lovell has started to recover now and is putting Mostica under pressure. Oh, down the inside into the chicane. Great move there from Jim Lovell. He had to be brave because that is a very fast part of the track. And Lovell now back into the lead. So certainly Lovell still racing to win here. The championship going his way at the moment, but he's more concerned about, he still wants to bring it home in first place. Look out for the 65 in third though. Chris Grieve looks threatening in third position all over the back of Mostica, who's got the racing line, holds on to that second place. Oh no, that's actually 74 now. Dougie Craven up to third. This one could well be turning into a three-way tussle for the lead in these closing stages. The pack circulating quite well, so slower traffic not really playing a part at the moment. We've got 3 laps to go as Lovell guards that lead. I don't think he's too bothered about playing the percentages here. He's looking to win this race. Ryan Tyers now up to 5th place, 1.4 seconds down. So Tyers certainly doing all he can. And there is Tyers now. He's getting close. He's starting to close up on Dougie Craven, the 3rd place rider. And he will see Jim Lovell in front of him. There he goes. You see, look out for the green and black leathers of Ryan Tyers, 55, 5th position. Closing in on the leaders. This is very important for the championship. As through into the lead goes Dougie Craven. Craven, your new race leader. Lovell second, Mostica third, and Tyers round the outside in the hairpin. He's going to try and get the switchback into the inside line on Mostica, and he makes the move stick. That's important now. Tyers moves up a position. He is right behind his main championship rival, Jim Lovell now, as we head towards the closing stages. Now, I don't know if Lovell knows he's there. Here comes Tyers. Championship. Dougie Craven still leads the race. Looks to try and pull away the 2 championship protagonists battling for second place as they cross the line. And Craven now really pulling away. Got a nice run there on that last half lap. And Dougie Craven looking neat now with 2 laps to go. There goes Chase Collymore, closely followed by Aaron Sadler, 99, in trouble. A little bit further down the field. That's the 99 of Alan Armstrong. Was in around 15th place. Aaron Sadler, Jake Whittaker in 8th position. Oh, as he gets close here at the top of the track and through into the lead goes Ryan Tyers at the top of the circuit. Lovell hanging in there in 2nd place, and of course Lovell knows he's there, needs to get past Craven as Craven goes back down the inside. Oh, he tries through the chicane, but Tyers holds on to the lead. 1.5 laps to go. And Jim Lovell desperately needs to get through to 2nd place, and he does so. 440 points for both Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyers going into this race. And if things stay as they are, it's going to be gloves off for the second one. All to play for. 2 laps to go. 1 lap to go very shortly, of course. The 2 championship leaders pulling away now from Craven in third. Oh, was 97 there. Lovell high sides momentarily in the hairpin. Saved the bike, but loses a little bit of ground to Tyers. Back underway. Over the line they go. 1 lap to go. Tyers now pulling away from Jim Lovell. So Ryan Tyers, 55, battling through the field as Craven starts to put the pressure back on Lovell. Now this could be a bit of a joker card, you might say, in terms of the championship, because Dougie Craven, the third place rider, is not a contender for the title as they start to close up on slower riders. But if he can get between the two rivals, that could be an important factor in the championship. It's still Mostica fourth, Chris Grieve in fifth, Chase Collymore, Aaron Sadler, Daniel Pearson a bit further behind in ninth place, Owen Merrill, Jake Whittaker in eighth. John Buckle moves up to 11th place from Ben Rea. Joe Woodward and Dominic Herbertson a bit further behind. Here they come for the final time now, though. Jim Lovell trying to close up on Ryan Tyres in this last half up. They're closing up on slower traffic as well. That could play a part as well. Here they come down towards the right-hander for the final time. Through the chicane, Ryan Tyres has got that nailed. He's certainly not giving an inch here as they go through the right-hander for the final time. Just needs to keep it pointing straight. Stay out of trouble on these hairpins for the last time. Lovell closing up all the time here. One last go possibly to take the lead, but it's running out of track here, and Ryan Tyres moves ahead ever so slightly in the championship with the checkered flag. Ryan Tyres takes the victory. Jim Lovell second, Dougie Craven third, and fourth for James Mostica. Chase Collymore moves up to fifth position on the final lap. Chris Grieve, Aaron Sandler, Jake Whittaker, 8th position. Daniel Pearson, Owen Meller in 10th place. John Buckle should be coming through in 11th, just ahead of Ben Rea, Joe Woodward, Dominic Herbertson, Ben Nixon in 15th place. Scott McGiven, Andrew Jones a bit further behind. But what a race there between Ryan Tyres and Jim Lovell. And that's certainly just what we needed in terms of the championship. The two main rivals finishing next to each other on the track, so certainly keeps things wide open for the second race later on today. Here we go then for the championship decider for Pitbike Stock 160 in association with Parker Racing. Jim Lovell will lead them the way from James Mostica, Reece Stevenson third, Chris Grieve in fourth, Chase Collymore fifth from Aaron Sadler, sixth position, seventh for Jake Whittaker from Dougie Craven, Ryan Tyres in ninth, Phil Dickens 10th, Daniel Pearson and Owen Meller 11th and 12th, John Buckle 13th from Ben Rea, Charlie Hopkins, Andrew Jones, Ben Nixon in 17th position. Scott McGiven in 19th place from Nathan Smith. Jake Marsh, Joe Woodward 22nd. Dervin Lane 23rd. Sebastian Barron in 24th position. Steve Merron, Ben Johnson 26th. Taylor Garner-Cook, Tom White, Ian Walker and Kieran Colley rounding out the top 30. Rest of the field made up of Kira Williamson from Ben Pearson, Julian Gromity and Roderson, Mark Jarrett and Brett Neesham, all posting no times in qualification. These riders further back, Dan Merron, Billy Pearson, Joe Milnes, Mick Lord and Alan Armstrong. 41 riders entered in this class. Back on track there, Pitbike Spare Stock 160. Ryan Tyres taking the first race win, leading the class now by the slenderest of margins. So effectively this is a whoever wins, whoever finishes in front, you would say, between Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyres, you would say would almost take the championship. We shall wait and see as the flag drops and away they go. Pile through the chicane for the first time. Looks like a good start. Everyone's through safely and Jim Lovell gets the early lead. All eyes now on Ryan Tyres. James Mostica second. Oh, one rider in trouble. That's the 35 of Jake Marsh on the first chicane, but he's okay and rejoins at the back of the field. Good start there for Chris Grieve in third. Chase Collymore fourth. Dougie Craven, Jake Whittaker all well placed. And the rest of the field goes charging through for the first time. So Jake Marsh a little bit further behind, but everyone else gets away safely. Down the back straight they go for the first time. Jim Lovell leads the way. Look out for the number 55 though of Ryan Tyres. He's got past Daniel Pearson. I think he may well have made the move on Jake Whittaker as well. They go through that back straight chicane for the first time. Well, there's Tyres. It looks like he's ahead of Dougie Craven, so that would put him in fifth position. Yes, he is. He's just behind Chase Collymore. So Tyres, who didn't qualify so well, he's got some real work to do on this first lap. He goes round the outside of Collymore. Got to make the move, stick now into the top corner, and yes, he does squeeze it. Oh, but Collymore's not giving that one in, no. I tell you what, Chase Collymore certainly isn't going to give that position up easily. And of course, there's a championship at stake here, but of course, it is a race in its own right. So if you've got to battle with the riders, they're not going to give you any favours. You're going to have to work hard, and I'm sure that Ryan Tyres knows that, of course. He's going to try and fight again on Collymore. This is allowing Lovell to pull away though from Mostica. So it's Lovell leading, Mostica second, Grieve third, Collymore from tyres, Craven in 6th place, Pearson 7th, 8th position for Owen Mellor, Jake Whittaker and John Buckle rounding out the top 10 as the leading group make their way to the top of the circuit now. And Ryan Tyres has got past Chase Collymore along, I believe, with Chris Grieve. Let's have a look if they come back into view. Yes, he has. So Tyres up to 3rd place. Chase Collymore coming under some real pressure there from Craven. Through the chicane they go. And now Tyres starting to put the pressure on James Mostica. So at the moment, if things stay as they are, this would give the title, I believe, to Jim Lovell, because of course Tyres in 3rd. Now if Tyres can get through to 2nd, I believe that would be a tie on points then. So I don't know, we'll have to speak to the BMB team to see how that we decided if there was a tie in the championship. Still a long way to go though, of course, as Tyres gets through to 2nd. So as far as I'm aware, the 2 championship leaders equal on points once again. Tyres at the fastest lap of the race, 1.7 seconds behind. 6 laps to go to decide who will win the Pitbike Stock 160 title for 2020. James Mostica still in 3rd place, Dougie Craven and Chase Collymore. There is Chase Collymore coming under some real pressure now from Chris Grieve at the top of the circuit. Grieve sweeps around the outside towards the back straight. Let's have a look if that pays off. There's Dougie Craven. Collymore makes that bike as wide as possible. Trouble in the midfield here. There's the 1-2-1 of Whittaker that's gone down. Jake Whittaker and I believe that's Owen Mellor, number 30. Both riders okay, I hasten to add, but well, Whittaker's got going again. There he is. He's just behind the number 89. And there's the unfortunate number 30 of Owen Mellor. Has lost the engine, gets the bike, trying to get it restarted. Of course, these 4-stroke engines, when they get hot, they can be a bit difficult to start sometimes. So Owen Mellor, who was in 8th place, crashing at the top of the circuit with Jake Whittaker. Both riders okay. So another rider in trouble. I think that's Dervin Lane that may have gone down in the middle of the track. Let's hope he's all right. Race goes on. Jim Lovell still leads. So Ryan Tyres 2nd, Mostica 3rd, Craven 4th, Collymore 5th from Chris Grieve. Top 6 pulling away now from Daniel Pearson in 7th place. And of course, with the incident on the previous lap, that means that Alan Armstrong is up to 8th position. Ben Ray, Joe Woodward 10th. Dominic Herbertson up to 11th as Chase Collymore battling now with Chris Grieve. From the top of the circuit now, Grieve all over the back wheel of Collymore. They make their way down the straight once again. Lovell still leading. Ryan Tyres closing up all the time. Here they come down the back straight. There's the top 2. Mostica 3rd, and the red flag comes out. So rider down in the centre of the track.
Dispensation to get out, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's great for everybody to see what's going on. We better get back to what's going on the circuit now, I think, Chris.
Well, we'll leave you to it, Alan. Thanks a lot for all your hard work this year, and we'll rejoin the action as the Pitbike Stock 160 gets back underway.
So here we go, 5 laps to determine who will win the Pitbike Spare Stock 160. The race has now restarted. Looks like a good start for Jim Lovell. And there he is, 97. Tyres, of course, won the first race earlier on today. Of course, it is a full restart, so Tyres has got to do it all again. He'll have a small lead in the championship, Ryan Tyres, but let's wait and see what happens. There he is, Tyres, who's got past the 74 of Dougie Craven. Oh, but he outbrakes himself there, and that allows Craven to get back through. Chase Collymore is just ahead. So Jim Lovell leads 1.2 seconds from the impressive Chris Grieve. Had a good first lap, holds on to that 2nd place. Chase Collymore battling hard to hold on to that 3rd place. He's just got past Craven once again. But Ryan Tyres only in 5th place, and time is running out. He goes down the inside of Craven. as we said, of course, at the start of this race, these guys who are not in the championship are battling for position in the race. They're not obliged to let the championship front runners go through, so he's got a bit of work to do now. Jim Lovell's really got to grit his teeth now and try and pull away. He's got to make these next couple of laps count as Tyres loses a bit of momentum down the back straight. Tries to get past Chase Collymore, but he has to back out, and we'll try again in the hairpins. And we'll have a look at the gap when they come through once again, because Jim Lovell pulling away a little bit now. And here we see, of course, Collymore guarding that inside line. He's certainly not giving any favours to anybody. None of them are, really. You would have to say they're all racing their own race. Tyres now down the inside of Collymore, makes the move stick, so it looks like he's moved up to, I believe, third place now. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. That's Chris Grieve in front. This is a very important lap now for Ryan Tyres as he makes the move stick on Grieve. So those guys at the front making life hard for Ryan Tyres, but he's made his way through. Lovell busting a 1:18.386, fastest lap of the race, but almost identical on pace there. Ryan Tyres, 3 laps to go. Now this is going to get interesting. 2.3 seconds between Jim Lovell and Ryan Tyres. We'll have to wait for confirmation as to if things stay as they are. I believe this would be a tie on points for the championship. So what that will mean, we'll have to check with Alan perhaps as to the rulebook who would get the verdict on that one in the event of a tiebreak. Now this is good news, of course. Never good news in that sense, but Owen Mellor, of course, gets a reprieve, you would say, with this stoppage. He gets back into the race. He dropped it early on and dropped down to the race. He was still in the race when it was halted, but there he goes. He's in the top 10, as is the 1-2-1 of Jake Whittaker, who also went down, of course. So he's back in the top 10 and battling away in this restart. 2 laps to go then at the end of this one. Ryan Tyres back through to second place. 2.3 seconds between him and Jim Lovell as we watch the 1-2-1 of Jake Whittaker. Daniel Pearson battling away. John Buckle right in there as well. Down the inside goes the 99 of Alan Armstrong, who's on the move. He's just got past the 1-2-1 of Jake Whittaker. Oh, and a nasty high side there, right on cue. He was running so well, but he's okay. Gets back on the bike. And that is really bad luck for Alan Armstrong, who was running so well. Nasty little tumble there for him. It just high-sided and pitched him off the bike, but I think he's just trying to get the bike restarted. Rider okay, which is the important thing, of course. 1.4 seconds covering the top 2 riders with 2 laps to go as we watch Chase Collymore now battling for third place with Chris Grieve. Looks like Collymore's made the move stick. There are the 2 championship protagonists. Ryan Tyres, if he can get past Jim Lovell, he would take the title. This is going to be a very important final 1.5 laps as Chase Collymore holds on to third place from Dougie Craven. Chris Grieve drops to 5th place, but still very much in there. Craven has a look down the inside of Collymore through another one of the chicanes. Back towards the finish line they go into that long right-hander. 180 degrees effectively, just folds back on itself as Grieve sweeps around the outside. Nice move there for number 65. What can he do though? He's not able to get down the inside as both 74 and 7 there, the machines of Craven and Collymore, guarding the inside line. 1 lap to go. Let's see who will what will happen with the 160 stock. Well, looking at the points here, this is just basic arithmetic, but I believe that if Ryan Tyres, of course, took the earlier win, if Lovell wins this one, it would be once again a tie on points. They both had first and second place finishes if things stay as they are. So this is going to be a very important last lap. Ryan Tyres is charging. He knows the title's on the line here. Here he comes down the back straight for the final time. Lovell holds on to the lead. Ryan Tyres had the fastest lap of the race last time round, 1:16.779. He is reeling in Jim Lovell, who's going to have to be defensive now for the final half lap. Tyres is right on the rear wheel of Jim Lovell, sweeps around the outside. He's going to go for the switchback into the right-hander. Here they come back towards us. Oh, and it's very close indeed. Into the right-hander they go. It's still Lovell. Tyres, though, sweeping around the outside. Gets the momentum on the outside. Now he's going to switch to the inside, into the hairpin. And Tyres has a look down the inside. No, Lovell holds on to the lead. 1 more hairpin to go. Tyres now switching to the inside. The title on the line here. They are side by side up to the checkered flag. The championship is going to be decided on this last corner. Oh, it's incredibly close. So Jim Lovell wins the race by 800ths of a second from Ryan Tyers, almost side by side over the line. Craven third, Collymore fourth, Grieve in fifth. And, well, as far as I'm aware, that puts both those riders on equal points. First and second place positions for Lovell and Tyers respectively. We'll wait for confirmation on that, of course, but as far as I'm aware, that was 0.8 of a second between Ryan Tyers winning the title or it being a tie. So what a finish to that one. And he would certainly say that's justice for. It's been a great year's racing, he would say, because there's been some incredibly close racing, and what a fantastic final lap that was. Ryan Tyers and Jim Lovell neck and neck to the line. Lovell just about winning by 0.8 of a second. Thrilling final lap. Craven third, Collymore fourth, Chris Grieve in fifth, Pearson, Herbertson, and the 141 of Ben Ray moving up to 8th position. John Buckle, Owen Mellor rounding up the top 10.